Welcome back. Bet you didn't expect to see me like this. So I've been doing this YouTube thing for a little while now, and every once in a while I'll get a question, just a comment about where did you learn this? Where'd you get this from? What the hell are you doing? Which is why I always have at the top of every description, I always have a link that goes to a list of all the sources I used in that video, because I know I get those questions, and even though I always have them, people still ask me them. So I figured it might be better if I just make a video where I just one by one go through all of the main sources I use in videos. And since this is my channel, there was probably no better place to start than with my Haunted Mansion book collection. I have been interested in the Haunted Mansion since 2004 when I first went on it, which was almost 20 years ago. But ever since then, I've always wanted to just learn more about it, just trying to read as much and watch as much as I could just to learn every little morsel of information that I could. So as you could imagine, I have amassed quite a collection of Haunted Mansion literature. So I thought it would be fun to just go through each book, one by one, and just tell you a little bit about all of them. And that's about all the introduction I needed for this video, so without further ado, let's get started. This is The Haunted Mansion from the Magic Kingdom to the Movies by Jason Sorrell. This was the first Haunted Mansion book I ever got. I got it back in 2004. It was the same vacation that I first rode the ride. And this was the one that really just sparked my interest in just learning as much as I could about the Haunted Mansion. As you can see, the book is kind of rough. It's falling apart. There are pages falling out. And this isn't just because I've continually read it over the years. I read it so much when I first got it that pages just started falling out almost immediately. Just because I was just constantly flipping through it. I brought this to school with me every day just so I could just read and learn as much about it as I could. There are some things in this book that are just straight up wrong. Of course, this was written 20 years ago, so there are some things about the Haunted Mansion that we know now that contradict some of the things in this book, but this is so fun to look back on. So, just got everything you'd ever want to know. It's got little pictures, it's got some concept art. There's even a little blurb about the movie in the back of the book, because of course, released in 2003, right when it came out, so everyone was wanting to cash in. And I don't usually check this at first nowadays when I make something Haunted Mansion related, but sometimes I know there will be a specific topic, like the video I did on the movie, where I will check this. But first Haunted Mansion book, so it still holds a lot of sentimental value, even despite all that. This is Haunted Mansion Imagineering, a Disney Classic by Jason Sorrell. This is just the newest edition of that first book. There was another edition in between these that I don't have that was released back in 2009. But this one was released in 2015. And of course, this is just updated with this newer things that had happened in the Haunted Mansion world since then. See, there's some stuff on the interactive queue at Disney World. You got some stuff on the 2006-2007 updates. There's some stuff on Mystic Manor in here. And this one is pretty recent, so if you wanted to get this one, you could probably still find it pretty easily. I think it is still shop. I think it is. God, I can't speak today. I think it is still sold in the gift shops at the Disney parks. So this is pretty good. This is a pretty good source. I know enough about the Haunted Mansion now that I normally don't immediately check this when I make a video, but there are a couple things, especially when it comes to like the early history of the ride, that I will still check it for. Yeah, pretty cool to have. This is a really recent one. Now we're kind of getting into the self-published Haunted Mansion official books. This is a pretty recent one. This is The Phantom Manor Phenomenon by, I'm going to butcher this guy's name, Parkology. I am so sorry if you're watching this video. That their Instagram account follows me on there, so there's probably a very good chance that the person who wrote this is going to see this video, so hi. But this is just a little history about Phantom Manor. Well, it's not really a history. It's just talking about the ride and everything surrounding the ride. The prose in this book is kind of weird. It's not written like a official historical thing. It's written in first person perspective. Like you meet someone and then they take you on the ride and then they tell you about everything they've learned about it. Which, I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like I would have just preferred a just normal, informative book about Phantom Manor. And a lot of it was stuff I already knew, but still pretty nice to have it in this nice, compact book. There was an official book about Phantom Manor that was released by Disney a few years ago. It's called Phantom Manor Decrypted. And I think I have every Haunted Mansion book published by Disney except for that one. So I know what I gotta get next for my collection. This is another recent one. This is Boundless Realms, Deep Exploration Inside Disney's Haunted Mansion by Fox Nolte. If you are familiar with the Long Forgotten Haunted Mansion vlog, I use that in my videos all the time. It's written very similarly, except there's a little bit more insight because the author actually worked as a cast member at the Haunted Mansion, so he kind of lets you in on some little secret-y kind of stuff to learn more about it. But this is a pretty recent book, so you could still find this one. It's an independent publisher, so it's probably just going to be through like Amazon and things like that, but you could probably find it elsewhere. But yeah, pretty cool to have. I've used this a couple times as a source. This is The Unauthorized Story of Disney's The Haunted Mansion by Jeff Baum. Jeff Baum is, of course, the creator of DoomBuggies.com, the #1 internet source for anything Haunted Mansion related. I have been visiting that site since I was a little kid, and I still use it all the time. This is just their little book that's just a little bit about the Haunted Mansion. Again, nice to have in like a little bound version. And if you have Amazon Kindle Unlimited, this is free on there, so you could go read it right now and learn about it. Well, finish this video first and then go read it. Yeah, there's an earlier edition of this book. That one has Madame Leota on the cover, but the one with like the little emblem on it and the raven on it, that's the most recent edition. So if you want to get really up to date, this is the one to get. This big honker is The Art of the Haunted Mansion. This isn't about the ride, it's actually about the movie. And includes big illustrations, some gorgeous concept art. It just shows you some of the stuff that happened while they were making the movie. See, look at those pictures, they're just gorgeous. If you want to just look at pictures and just be gobsmacked by each one you see, this is one to get. As for where you can find it, I got it on eBay. I don't think this is in print anymore. A lot of the books and magazines and stuff I got were off of eBay. Used bookstores, things like that. But that concludes the nonfiction Haunted Mansion books. So we're just going to go ahead and move right along to the fiction books. This is the Haunted Mansion pop-up book. It's the ride, but it's a pop-up book. There are little doohickeys you can play with. And that's all there is to say about that. This is what I mentioned on the channel before. This is Disney's Enter If You Dare, Scary Tales from the Haunted Mansion. This is like a little short story collection, kind of in the same vein of like Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark or Goosebumps. Just some short little stories that aren't really about the Haunted Mansion. They're just kind of Haunted Mansion abstract. Like they just talk about things that are kind of vaguely Haunted Mansion related and just tell you the story of that. It's a very tiny book. It was a lot smaller than I was expecting. As for where you can find this, I got mine used. Because I don't think this is in print anymore. You'll probably have luck getting it used. This is the Haunted Mansion Junior Novelization. It's the movie, but as a junior novelization. Well, what's interesting about this, actually, is that this includes some of the scenes that were cut. You know, if you watched my video on the movie, you know that I mentioned that there are some scenes that kind of elaborated on the backstory of the mansion that were cut. Well, this book includes some of those scenes, so we might actually have to do a video talking about this. But yeah, Haunted Mansion Junior Novelization. There are some little photographs of the movie. It's like what you get at the book fair every year. Brings back warm childhood memories of that. These books are the Tales from the Haunted Mansion series, which are recent versions that are just kind of a bunch of short stories about the Haunted Mansion. Some of them are directly about the Haunted Mansion, other ones are just kind of spooky and kind of Haunted Mansion abstract. I've brought them up in some videos in the past, and I have all of them. Very pretty hardcover books. They got the little uneven edges. Reminds me of the Series of Unfortunate Events books. Those had those uneven edges too. I've read all of them. They're pretty good. If you're into kind of spooky stories but don't want anything too intense, these are probably ones to get. And I have them in hardcover. I do know they just recently came out with paperback editions, so if you prefer paperback, you can get those too. But yeah, Tales from the Haunted Mansion, that is what I have in my hands. Now I think we're going to go ahead and move on to comics. I was going to include this in just the fiction section, but there are enough Haunted Mansion comics that you could probably just have a whole section of them. So we'll get to that right now. This is another one of my really old books, as you can tell. It is very worn on the spine, very bent. This is The Haunted Mansion, We're Dying to Meet You. This is one of the slave labor graphic comics that I bring up all the time in my videos. And it's just a collection of just some of the issues all in one place. This does not include all of the comics, however. Like, it's missing the whole mystery of the manse, which is just kind of the backstory for the Haunted Mansion in this universe. It's missing that. It doesn't have the conclusion of the interview storyline, even though it includes the first few issues. I don't know why. But, yeah, that's what I have. If you want all the issues, you gotta get this one. The Haunted Mansion, Volume 1, Welcome Foolish Mortals. Seems weird that they call it Volume 1 because there was never a Volume 2. Which, as you can see, beautiful book. Got nice gold detailings. It's got the uneven edges that you know I love. It's got little bookmark thingy. The inside book covers is like the Haunted Mansion wallpaper in red, which I love. And this includes all of the issues in one place. So it includes all the ones that aren't in that other book. So this is really the definitive version of those comics. It also includes like the variant covers, some concept art, just some art from the people who worked there. As for where you can find it, good luck. I got lucky on eBay one day and it just happened to be there. It goes for pretty expensive nowadays. Of course, I own a copy of Seekers of the Weird. Seekers of the Weird is the first in the Disney Kingdom series that was published by Marvel. Those are the books that are kind of based on the attractions. This one is based on the Museum of the Weird, which was the walkthrough attraction that was going to be kind of parallel to the Haunted Mansion that never got built. So this is just a story about that. So you can see really good illustrations. It's also got some concept art from the original museum in the back. It's got other things, variant covers. It's got a forward from Really Crump. Pretty cool. You can get this with the individual editions, but if you just want to read the books, then this is probably the one you want to go with. And speaking of Disney Kingdoms, this is the Haunted Mansion series. As you can see, I have every issue right here. And you can get an omnibus edition of all of them, which is all of them together. It's got some concept art, the variant covers, all that stuff. But when I do videos, I have to get like the panels for some of what I'm talking about. So this is the best version I found to get all of those. Because I can just lay them on my scanner and just scan them, and I don't have to worry about the rest of the book getting in the way. But if you want to just read them, just get the omnibus edition, and that one you can probably still find in print. And I just collect the main covers. I have not tried to collect any of the variants. Yes, then my collection would never be complete, and I would be stuck forever. This is a really recent one. It just came out last year. This is The Haunted Mansion, Frights of Fancy. This was released by IDW Comics, which is just a little graphic novel that's about the Haunted Mansion. It's about a new ghost that comes to the mansion and just her trying to fit in. Let me try to find it good. There she is. That's Sydney. She's the main ghost. She's the one who's moving in. Pretty cute story. Wasn't quite, I don't think it's quite as good as the other ones, but still really cute. And this is recent, so you could still find this one. And that's all of the comics I have. So I think we're going to go on to magazines. Because every once in a while, a magazine will do a little cover story on the Haunted Mansion, and I just have to read it. Let's get to it. I almost forgot about this one in the fiction section. This is Disney's The Haunted Mansion Haunted Happenings. This is actually a coloring book, but it's also a storybook. It's about Mickey and the gang. They're like cleaners, and they're going in to clean the Haunted Mansion. This is really rare. This is probably the rarest book I own. I only saw a blurry screenshot of the cover, and so for the longest time, I was debating on whether or not it really existed, but here it is, right in the flesh. Disney Adventures magazine did a little feature on the movie. It features a little interview with the kids that play Megan and Michael, and includes some pictures, some of the characters, and it includes a little comic story about them. I used to love Disney Adventures magazine back when it was published. But yeah, this is pretty cool to have. I have this scanned. This and some of the other things I have in this video, I have scanned them, and I put them on the Internet Archive. So if you would like to read through some of these and other things, there will be a link in the description. I tried to send screen caps of this to doombuggies.com, but whoever's checking that email is just not doing a very good job of it. So until then, there will be a link in the description to read this. Mickey Monitor is the magazine newsletter thing that they send out to annual pass holders. And they did a little feature on the Haunted Mansion, which just includes some little fun facts about the lore. Yeah, it's kind of basic. The only reason I have it is because it exists. This is Horror Hound magazine, the horror fan magazine. I know nothing about this issue. As you can see, it's got Pennywise on the cover. But they did a feature on the Haunted Mansion for the 50th anniversary. I just got this, so I haven't even had the chance to go through and read it. But like I said, anytime some random magazine does a feature on the Haunted Mansion, I just have to read it. D23 magazine did a feature on the Haunted Mansion for the 40th anniversary. This is back in 2009. Which includes really big pictures and just some nice little summary. That's not the Haunted Mansion. That's not the Haunted Mansion. There we go. Just includes a little summary of Haunted Mansion history, and this was assisted by doombuggies.com. They kind of helped out with the making of this little article. And yeah, that's why I have it. I actually am a D23 member, so I have a lot of these magazines. So this is just yet another thing cluttering my bookshelf. This isn't really a Haunted Mansion magazine. It's more of just a Haunted Mansion thing. This is apparently the operating manual that cast members have. That's just about the Haunted Mansion. I have no idea. A person was just printing these off and just selling them on eBay, I guess. I have no idea how they got a hold of it. But includes like little sketches on how things work. Includes just how the daily operations go. It's not really a magazine, but guess this is cool to have. E-Ticket magazine is the magazine that's published by the Walt Disney Family Museum. And they did a feature on the Haunted Mansion. They've done a couple of features on the Haunted Mansion, but this is the only one I own. But this is just about the ghost house. So it's just about like all of the old stories that were made in the concept stage of the Haunted Mansion. So stuff like Captain Gore and Bloodbury Manor. Just includes a summary of everything that went down. And there's some pretty cool concept art in here. I haven't had the chance to go through all of these articles, but this is from, when was this made? I have no idea. Fall 2004. Fall 2004. So it's pretty old. The Disneyland Line is the magazine newsletter thingy that's published by cast members, and a couple years ago they did a Haunted Mansion cover, as you can see, for the 50th anniversary. And I actually owned several of the Disneyland Line magazines. I love those. I love getting those just to get little insights on what's going on during that little piece of Disney history. I might actually have to do a full video talking about like cast member newsletters because I just find that interesting. But yeah, a little bit about the Haunted Mansion, a little bit about the little 50th anniversary thingy that was going on at the time. And this is an older version of the Disneyland Line that was published in 2009 for the 40th anniversary, which is also pretty stinking cool. As you can see, you get that. As you can see how much the magazine had changed, a 2009 version versus a 2019 version. So, yeah. Neither of these issues included things like I didn't already know, but... And I actually think I got this because I think this is one of the ones that isn't on Dune Buggies that I wanted to archive. So again, if you would like to flip through this, there will be a link in the description. This is The Wonderful World of Disney magazine from 1971, I think. And it included a little feature on haunted houses. It's just like a little like history of haunted houses and things, and there's a little bit about the Haunted Mansion in here. It's not really Haunted Mansion centric, but I love these little magazines and old comic things. I just love them. I love looking through them and just seeing the old stories. This is not the oldest magazine I own. I own ones that are much older than this, but still pretty cool to have. These are the Disneyana magazine, which are magazines that are for Disney collectors, which of course I am one of them. And they did a couple different covers on the Haunted Mansion, talking about all the different things you can collect. I haven't actually had the time to go through and read all of these, but yeah. Haunted Attraction Magazine did a cover on Phantom Manor, so just told you about the making of Phantom Manor. And this actually included some stuff I didn't really know. So like, because there isn't a ton of scholarship on Phantom Manor like there is for the Haunted Mansion. So this is a nice source to have. And once again, I have scanned this one, so if you would like to read it, link in the doobly-doo. And that concludes the magazine portion of this video. So the only thing I have left for anyone who's still watching this, is anybody still watching this? I have no idea. Is just all the other types of media that I own. This is Theme Parkology presents Phantom Manor. It's just like a little documentary about Phantom Manor. Theme Parkology is a newer company that just makes little featurettes on different attractions, and I had to get the Phantom Manor one. You can watch like the first few minutes of this here on YouTube if you just look it up. And yeah, that's about all there is to say about that. If you like this kind of documentary stuff, check them out. I own 2 copies of the movie. Why do I own 2 copies of the movie? Well, I will tell you. No, it is not because I am secretly a Haunted Mansion movie stan. I think I have made my opinion on this movie fairly clear on this channel. No, it's not the worst movie ever made, and yeah, some of the shit it gets is unfair. But even still, it's not particularly good. So, why do I own 2 copies of it? Well, I had to get the first copy because I have to get the DVD so I can talk about it on my channel. So I have to get the stuff that's on it. And there are some pretty cool like special features on here. It includes a little making of, a couple making of featurettes. It includes a little tour of the house in the movie. That's pretty cool. The commentaries are nice to kind of get a feel for like what went into the making of that movie. I used that so much when I made my video on it. But then I found out I only had the full screen version. And I wanted to compare it to the widescreen version. And the widescreen version, it's a lot better. That's the one you can rent. That's the one on Disney+. So now I just have 2 of them, and I don't know what to do with this one. Does anyone want it? Should I make that like a giveaway or something? Congratulations, you won! You got a used DVD. This isn't even the first version of this DVD I had. I had one as a kid that I don't know what happened to. It just disappeared into thin air. So both of these are from used DVD stores. I do all of my movie shopping in the used DVD section. This is the Haunted Mansion. This is just a little soundtrack of it that I got in the parks. Comes with a little booklet that just tells you the basics about what happened. Doesn't go too in depth because it's just a little booklet of like the liner notes and stuff. So yeah. This CD I know for sure you can listen to it on like iTunes and Spotify. This one I know for sure is on there, but I still have to collect them because I am a physical media hound, in case you have not noticed from this video. If you want further perspective on that, I am collecting to get all of the Disney animated movies. There are 59. I am missing 3. This is Story and Song from the Haunted Mansion, which is that little record book that I bring up all the time. This was made to promote the ride, made back in the 60s. And this is just it in a CD version. I don't own the actual vinyl. I probably could. I probably should. I probably should own it though. But yeah, includes that. Includes the little booklet that came with the original one. So that's pretty nice. And this one I don't think is on Spotify or iTunes, but this is a pretty recent reprint of it, so you could still get it. I got it new at Barnes & Noble. And finishing it off is the Haunted Mansion 30th Anniversary Limited Edition Compact Disc. This is a little CD they made for the 30th anniversary, which would have been back in 1999. I was 3. So it includes the complete original Disneyland attraction soundtrack, highlights from the Haunted Mansion attractions at Disney World and Tokyo Disneyland, music from Phantom Manor at Disneyland Paris, number report heard, alternate music and narrations, original radio ads, soundtracks, and outtakes. So it's just a little like audio collection on stuff related to the Haunted Mansion. All of this audio stuff you could just find on YouTube, but if you want to collect them and have them in the best possible quality, then this is it. Mine is broken. It came broken. That was just how it was sold to me, but you know, as long as the disc works, that's all that really matters. And woof, I think we went through all of them. That was the entirety of my Haunted Mansion book collection. Though it will not be the last of them because new Haunted Mansion stuff is coming out all the time. So, if you would like to see this become a series on my channel where like just every once in a while I just update you on what new books I got, let me know down in the comments. And if you want to see me do more on camera stuff, let me know, I guess. And I've also made it easier for you guys playing along at home to get these books, because I know some of you guys are going to be going through this over and over again, to like pausing it and like writing down which books you need to get. And please do that. Please just keep watching my videos. But for your convenience, I have listed in the description a link to just a full list of all the books, all the magazines, all the CDs and crap, everything I mentioned in this video. All of it is going to be in a convenient list down in the description. So there will be a link for that there. But I think that's everything. So thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.